So the drug was cleared for use in combination with remdesivir. I'm wondering your thoughts on the World Health Organization's guidelines recommending against use of remdesivir based on their trial showing that it does not have benefits on mortality or preventing patients from needing ventilators or even shortening time to recovery. That, of course, is in contrast to the U.S. trial, which showed it does shorten time to recovery. But how much use are you expecting of baricitinib plus remdesivir, given sort of some of the controversy around the data for remdesivir?
Yeah, that is a controversial topic. What the WHO seems to be relying on is this so-called big simple study that's not very well controlled, but observes a lot of people in a variety of settings. We know the benefits of remdesivir are probably subtle or modest, and the benefits of baricitinib on top of remdesivir, are incremental as well. But what the NIH, the U.S. approach to this has been to study these in a very careful, double-blind, placebo-controlled setting to study the incremental benefits of each. And in our industry, a lot of progress is made in medicine in improving outcomes through those incremental advances. So I think this decision by the WHO throws some confusion out there. But personally, our view in our industry is to use the better controlled studies to really evaluate benefits of medicines. Now, in the U.S., this is a U.S. emergency use authorization, will be approved for use on top of remdesivir, which is broadly used in the U.S. Remdesivir use outside the U.S. is quite different and probably is going to change now based on the WHO guidelines. We've anticipated that and actually are running a global phase 3 program for baricitinib in COVID-19 hospitalized patients on any background that the doctor chooses. That includes some remdesivir patients, but also importantly includes dexamethasone, the steroid that's commonly used and was also studied in a big simple trial in the UK. And so we'll be able to learn through that study, bari alone, bari plus remdesivir, and bari plus dex in these more complicated hospital patients. That's a double-blind study, well-controlled, and we should get those results in early 2021, a very important new study that we sponsored.
Hey, David, do you think the WHO was really just not being very practical in terms of trying to figure out treatments for a disease that's been around, less than a year at this point, has existed less than a year, and trying to get up to speed and find any potential solution that we could? I mean, it's kind of frustrating. I realize it may not be the traditional way, the traditional study they'd like to see, but I think doctors are doing their best. I think drug companies are doing their best. I think governments are doing their best to try and deal with any potential solution they can find.
Yeah, I agree, Becky. I think everyone's trying to make the biggest difference they can. I'm not going to try to guess at what the pushes and pulls are on the WHO as an entity. Some speculate cost plays a role in their decision making. What I can say as the CEO of a drug company is we have to rely on the standards of science that support all medical progress. And the gold standard for that is double-blind, placebo-controlled studies. We were proud to partner with the NIH to do such a study, which supports the use of baricitinib on top of remdesivir. And that same methodology was used to study remdesivir initially. Of course, the background standard of care has improved pretty dramatically. In the original Act 1 study, which resulted in remdesivir being approved, they moved from 14 days to 11 hospital stay, a 3-day improvement. In our study done over the summer primarily, the standard moved from 8 on remdesivir to 7 with baricitinib. So already just other things that changed in the background have improved patient outcomes from 11 days on rem to 8 in our study. That's probably continues. We continue to make progress, even with basic things like who to use ventilation on and putting patients in a prone position, for instance. Those improvements, I think, are helping people get out of the hospital sooner. Baricitinib is one more improvement that can help people get out of the hospital. And it's not a small improvement on the scale of 80,000 people sitting in a hospital bed today. A 15 or 12% improvement in that will be an important relief for those strained hospitals across America.
Shepard Smith here. Thanks for watching CNBC on YouTube.